Hey everybody, welcome back to Magic Orthodoxy. My name is David and this is a magic review. Cups and balls. Classic of magic, classic props, beautiful routine. You've probably seen your favorite magician do their variation of cups and balls. You've probably wanted to pick it up, probably wanted to learn it, but here's the problem. Typically, when you buy a cups and balls set, that's all you get. You get a set. Maybe they give you a video with like one routine, but how do you get better? How do you get really good? How do you learn all the sleights, all the moves, and learn from the masters? Learn several routines so that cups and balls just becomes one of your staples, one of your go-tos. Let me introduce you to Daryl. Man, if you've been to my channel for a while, you know I love Daryl. Love Daryl. He is one of my favorite magicians of all time. The magic community lost an incredible magician when we lost Daryl. And if you go through my channel, you can see all the different reviews I've done for Daryl. Here's the thing about him and his creations. I'm still just scratching the surface. Really. I mean, the man's been gone for a couple of years now, and there's still more material out there, more tricks out there that I haven't even got to yet. He's got an extensive library. If you like teachers who have a little bit of that old school touch, professional in their presentation, soft in their demeanor, patient in their teaching, Daryl is one of those teachers that's like getting a master class or taking a college course. He just has that approach where you feel like, I'm gonna sit down and at my desk and get out my notebook and I'm gonna listen to you speak, and I can't wait to learn from you. Daryl's that kind of magician, for me at least, and I know he is beloved by so many. He has a master course Cups and Balls DVD, and I believe you can get it as a download too. There's two volumes. There's volume 1 and volume 2. They're not equally priced. Volume 1 is $12 and volume 2 is 11 or 12 or something like that. Either way, you can get them both for 27. You can get them both for under 30. Let's put it that way. I think you can get them both for about 27 bucks though. And 3 hours of material. Here's the thing about this. It is a master course in cups and balls, as the title suggests. Okay, that's first and foremost. Immediately as he begins, he says, this is not for beginners. So if you've never touched cups and balls, he kind of makes this disclaimer that's like, he refers you to some other materials. Here's what I would say. Ignore that. Just ignore that. He's gonna teach you a ton of stuff. And I think even if you've never picked up cups and balls, if you study under him, you're going to learn enough. You're going to be able to copy his movements and learn enough that this could be your one resource. I think, even though it's called Master Cups and Balls, even though Daryl says, I'd prefer you if you got some beginning instruction elsewhere. I think the material in this is so good and so strong, and he teaches it so well. I think you could pick up and run with this and you'd be fine. So it's 2 DVDs, right? Or 2 downloads. And as far as presentation goes, obviously you're not getting any cups and balls with this. There's no props. So hopefully you have your own props. Good news is he'll teach you one routine that doesn't use standard props. All black environment, black high top bar table. He's in a jacket and tie, professional, right? He's got magic posters behind him. Very well mic'd, no distracting music. You get nice body shots, but then also nice close-ups of everything you need to know. Go watch the trailers. There's 2 trailers out on YouTube. Watch those. You'll get a really good sense of everything that's included and how it's taught. It's not a flashy, like miscut, strange trailer. It's all footage directly from the tutorials. Everything's done in studio. It's really well done. Let me tell you what's on the videos. The first video is really long. It's gonna go over all the basics. So it'd be just like you sitting down in class. If you didn't have any sort of idea of what was going on, you would come in and the teacher would say, here's the history, right? Here's where cups and balls came from. Let's introduce the subject to you. Here are the props you're gonna need, right? Here are the moves you're gonna need. And then here's some routines. And that's kind of how it goes. So volume 1 talks about the cups and balls and where they came from. And he talks about props, talks about types of cups, types of balls, and he goes over the sleights and handling. So you're going to learn the shuttle pass. You'll learn how to move between cups. He'll give you some basic moves and misdirections. He'll talk about fake loading. He'll talk about concealing balls, and he'll cover the pinky move, the fake-o move. He'll talk about stealing sponge balls. There's vanishes, loading balls. There's all kinds of miscellaneous things in there. He teaches you the Charlie Miller move and the Charlie Miller elimination sequence, and then you'll learn Daryl's routine. So Daryl finishes the whole thing off kind of like by let's put all the things you learned together, right? Now that you've learned all that, let's put it all together. Now, obviously, when I was listing out those moves, there's some things that were missing, right? And this is where I say it probably would be better if you picked up some beginning instruction elsewhere. But again, I think if you follow his movements and listen to him, I think he gives you enough that you could springboard off of this. But then you learn Daryl's routine. If you've ever seen Daryl do cups and balls, he knows what he's talking about. This is the guy to watch, okay? So then volume 2 is a little shorter, and maybe that's why it's not as expensive, but it's gonna give you some fleshed out routines. So the first one you'll learn is Nick Tross routine. The real difference between Nick Tross routine and others is he uses 5 balls instead of 4, and it's sleight free, completely sleight free. So this is another reason why I say, I think you could just pick this up, because you learn Nick Tross routine, there's no sleights, so it's great. Then you're gonna learn Di Vernon's routine. If you've never seen Di Vernon's routine, you can go watch that on YouTube as well. It's beautiful, right? He'll go through Di Vernon's routine twice. He'll kind of go through it at speed and then go through it again, just for you to, to learn everything. He'll slow it all down. And then he's gonna give you Di Vernon's impromptu routine. Now, what's an impromptu routine? Well, that would be if you were out at a restaurant or out someplace and you had all the materials, right? But you didn't have your props. So you take glasses, turn them upside down, maybe wrap napkins around them so that people couldn't see through them, and then use objects that you would use for the balls, right? And making it complete balled up napkins or whatever you've got around. So he'll teach you that, and then all the tips for handling for a completely impromptu routine. We can't really talk about pocket space, right? Because cups and balls isn't a pocket space type routine. Can't really talk about angles because if you've ever seen cups and balls, you understand it relies on a lot of misdirection, a lot of one hand doing one thing while the other hand is doing another, or you saying something while you're really doing something else. And we really can't talk about, yes, we can talk about inspectability, I guess, because they're just props, right? Cups and balls, at the end of the day, unless you're doing a chop cup routine, they're just props, right? They're just props. They're not magical items in and of themselves. So I think I've already talked about sleights and difficulty level, right? Because I need to say what Daryl said, that he suggests you pick up some instruction elsewhere. He has a beginner's tutorial out there. I'll put it up on the screen for you, should you need that. But yeah, it's such a good course. And let me just make my last pitch, okay? My last pitch would be, is it worth your money? My suggestion is you need both DVDs. I don't know why they're sold separately. I don't. I think if you don't have either, and I don't understand why you'd buy one without the other anyway, because they really go together. The first one is kind of that lead in where here's all the background and here's the sleights. And then the second one is, and here's the routines. I don't know why you'd buy one without the other. I don't. I think now that it's so inexpensive, 27 bucks, everybody should just start packaging them together and just offering it together, right? I mean, personally. And I think that under 30 bucks, if you've got a cups and balls set, it's sitting on your desk or it's sitting on your shelf and you're like, I've always wanted to learn it, but I just don't have a good routine or I don't have a good teacher, you can't go wrong with Daryl at all. You cannot go wrong with Daryl. I challenge you to find one person that says, oh, Daryl's not a good teacher. So, and for less than 30 bucks, for you to get 3 hours of material, it's a no-brainer. There are some no-brainers out there in magic. This is a no-brainer. Okay, so yeah, great resource for learning cups and balls. Fantastic teacher. I love Daryl, and if you've never seen Daryl before, this would be a great introduction for you as well. So big, huge thanks to Murphy's Magic Supplies for allowing me to have this so that I could do the review for you. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.